again. Good day and welcome to True Talk Radio 98.5. Now, so we take welcome Uno again to another edition of we midday show program where they come to you every day, Monday to Friday from in the afternoon hours of Monday to Friday. Now, so I take welcome Uno again once more, and also remember say you also they watch we live now with Facebook and YouTube channel them at truetalk.fm. Family, today inside we show we get Mr. Alex, we come up from the Anti-Corruption Commission. We go can help we talk small, but the work of Anti-Corruption Commission and also how far they don't go. As recently the Mo Ibrahim Foundation being also award the Anti-Corruption Commission an award, and for them good work with them done they do, as well as for being among the top 10 most safe country them now the world. Mr. Alex, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. Good afternoon from Bolton.
All right. You can introduce yourself once more again.
Yes, me na Alex Eba, and me na the Public Relations Assistant.
All right. Fambo, we just want to go for a very short break, and then we'll come. We can't discuss much. Well, Fambo, now so we take welcome Uno again to we midday show program. As I said just now, we can discuss shortly on issues around corruption and then the award way Mo Ibrahim Foundation being get for Ghetto Anti-Corruption. Mr. Alex, welcome again once more. You can will give a brief summary of the award where Mo Ibrahim Foundation being Ghetto Anti-Corruption Commission as alone.
Yes, then reports come out, the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, when an international institution, where part of the work with them they do a lot of work, but part of the work that they do now for promote governance and how they promote governance through several ways. But one of the ways now for assess countries then across Africa on some of the efforts that they make in terms of various aspects of governance, transparency, security, rule of law, accountability, human rights issues, and fight against corruption, and several other factors. Then so every decade, 10 years period for a decade. So after every 10 years, then can do and then can release what they call the Mo Ibrahim Foundation Index. Okay. And that index the products of the assessment on the impacts then the strides the countries they make, and then general status in terms of many areas. The index can reflect 322 variables were clustered under 96 indicators, and under that 96 indicators you get 16 subcategories and 16 subcategories and 4 categories, and then 4 categories then they get for them is transparency, rule of law, accountability, and so on. So then release the last assessment, the results sometime in 2014, probably reflects the preceding year of 2013. So in October, in the closing period of October, then also release another decade, report where at the 2024 report we're reflective of the past 10 years, or more or less on 2023. So notably the Anti-Corruption Commission, then be rank we as one of the most improved countries, the top 10 in
Yeah.
Africa.
Because I say I'm about in seventh position also.
Yes, so basically, and get the rankings we'll talk about,
Okay.
but them also, in fact, in the press release when they pull, then particularize Sierra Leone as one country we don't improve so much and so well. We don't do so remarkably excellent in terms of we governance, but specifically, you know, mechanisms around the fight against corruption, as
Okay.
opposed to the last year. So the rank we part of the top 10, together with other countries like Seychelles,
Yes,
Gambia, and a few other countries. Then we then put say these are the countries there where they've done so remarkably well, and then Durban as the most improved countries. Then, but
Okay.
away from that, the index show specifically in terms of our anti-corruption mechanism some huge increase. For example, we increased about 16.6% as opposed to the previous year.
Yeah,
I mean, the
exactly.
previous ranking and all. And we do quite so well overall.
Okay. So like what in this mean for the Anti-Corruption Commission and then also for Salon as a country?
Yes, this an additional validation that indeed we are making progress. But we are not just making progress, we are making enormous progress. I mean, not in a country where that was more once ranked as the most corrupt country in the world, to a country now where, then the picture that now an emblem of fighting corruption in Africa, now a model, now a template where other countries then for look and learn. So it's something really commendable. Not every time when they say Sierra Leone, we can
It's
get
about corruption, right?
something news then we know so well. But the good thing is this Moeba index don't count for additionally validate within the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. We don't say that from 2017 Sierra Leone was 130 out of 180 countries then ranked in terms of the effort to fight against corruption. But now we're comfortably seated at 108. Not necessarily comfortably because we keep moving, but we don't get 22 places upwards mobility in the way for fight corruption within the last 6 years, from 130 2017 to 108, and in fact we actual score they are above the sub-Saharan average of 33. Inside our index they win at 35. But not just the Transparency International. We look at the Millennium Challenge Corporation Scorecard,
Yes.
at the MCC.
Okay.
We have now an independent US government outfit where they assess countries them on various indicators them. And under the whole justly indicator, then get the control of corruption. You then get a scorecard, we get different indicator, but then get the control of corruption when I mandate indicator.
Then they be just one lead me to we next question. We are in with the look at waiting at some of the strides them where una do, we help una for reach to that state.
Yes. Before in fact I can, throw lights on waiting inform the successes there. The MCC, you see recently the government now receive about 400 million or so grant from the compacts when money we'll get because we perform so well in the MCC. And one of the major areas inside that scorecard day now control of corruption when a mandatory indicator where Sierra Leone in the past 10 years or so, in fact in the past 15 years will then be the rank we prior to 2018 we highest score was 53, and we fail the control of corruption mandatory indicator for 10 years.
Okay.
The highest score will be getting at 53, and in 2017 we scored 49 failing percent, and from 2018 onwards we don't score not less than 70%, which is not mean fit. So then they now go come with me to the questions and we ask waiting really not the secret. In fact, that question that we ask, now the question we not so long ago where the Guinea anti-corruption boss can say for kind of study we work ask waiting at the secret to make Salon with the real every side say they do well. One, we legally forms them.
Okay.
When they appoint a very young person in the person of Francis Ben Kaifala for head the anti-corruption agency, it looks say we need for go back parliament and reform readjust and revolutionize the anti-corruption law we exist in legislature. So increase the fines them, increase the penalty, the jail terms, people and way them convict of corruption they serve. He add some offenses then. He provide he input section 89 where get further with the non-conviction recovery model as an alternative to court processes then. He redefine
but
the asset declaration.
Let cut you up this month a bit. Like that section 79 where they talk about if I'm go one for ask waiting than they mean.
Yes.
Because plenty people not go understand what that section 79 mean.
Yes, section 89.
Okay.
Precisely. Section 89 we get provision the way now pursuant to 2019 amendment. What we call the non-conviction recovery model. So that's now a model we will use for decide on certain matters then. We now reach the prosecutorial threshold that now we invoke that provision they will count in 2019 amendment that we you know do the out of court settlement. So in a sense, waiting and they mean for go na court, you know, for charge matter na court, the burden of proof is very high.
Yeah.
Now beyond all reasonable doubts.
Yeah.
So which makes it so difficult, and sometimes matters then it can take years, and there are times that even before conviction we don't get cases then where the accused person, even if they find and guilty before conviction, he don't die. So the country they lost. So they look certain cases of misappropriation. We invoke that provision there that before we go to court, and it's on a balance for let we win the case or so, or several other factors then we can come in. We decide to now will they get the money from you, because the most difficult thing in fighting corruption is forget the stolen wealth or the stolen assets.
So like in that aspect, the how uno they do when una evoke that section 89 the when are the out of court settlement issue, how una they do in order for able get the money from the people? Is it that una they apply other method?
Yes, we get a whole non-prosecution policy.
Okay.
We clearly define, you know, how we go about that process. You go to the anti-corruption website, www.anticorruption.gov.xl. It's a public document. So we look at the case, and we prosecutors the advice. After we investigate, we then enforce the advice. Now we say before we go to court, let me do this one here. We call the accused persons that we don't get the evidences, then look at them. They are so compelling. We have the option to go to court.
Okay.
And if we go to court, these evidences, it could be enough. Or pay the entire money. So most times we can arrest them. We tell them, say, you bail condition. A hinge on bringing every single dime.
Okay.
Where we don't allege so you don't thief. So you pay the money. When you don't pay the entire money in full, you also pay an interest rate of not less than 10%. It can span up to 30 or more percent. And with a ban you from holding public office for a period of not less than 3 years, it can span up to more years. And we did publish, because we always can put press release. At this person here, we don't invoke this provision where allege say thief this money. You don't pay the money in full, you don't pay the interest, and we don't ban them from holding public. And those things can go a long way in terms of reputation or the damage. So that's now a way we will get the money, you know, immediately. A person on thief, and go to court. Sometimes we understand the constraints we will get in the judiciary. For example, Hali this year, we get a matter we come to the attention. We get for it about 8.6 billion. We then see some staff deny salary, Accountant General's Department and Ministry of Finance. Then thief, the money we then for use for pay, for construction of Kabbalah you know, Kaila on Pendembo Road. Then we draw the money there, then send it to Kabbalah Community Bank, and then go pull the money and then share among themselves. The money actually span up to 8.6 billion. We get the individuals then, we involved, we put them on that bail condition, we asked them to let them count every dime, and they brought the full money, and we banned them from holding public office with an interest rate as well, where they put for that money. So, in less than 1 month, when it come to our attention, we be able to forget every single penny with government loss. So what does that tell us? Some of them matters, and if we take them go to court, you know, there are times, sometimes the judiciary can be understandably challenged. But there are times again it's difficult for person not if money they go to the court. You get them constraints and I will not want to go into the dynamics. So basically, that day now one of the most effective innovations in the fight against corruption will be put in the 29th amendment. We don't do so well. We will recover over 60 billion in the past 6 years, and Cameroon can recently for can understudy that particular model.
Okay. Looking at that again, the strike same way in Burundi. When I get any form of quiet settlements, like when I get this information about proxy, say involving corruption, right? When I be come to the notice and the person will say, okay, yes, I accept to this person this I do I go offer for pay, like how you know say the out of court settlement. Is it that when I get any provision wherein people may involved in their small corruption and they would do quietly and then move on, or all the cases on they go out of court settlement on the publication on air and all that stuff?
Yes, we don't work in covert. We work not shrouded in secrecy. Whatever we do, as provided for by law, we inform the public. So every one of them cases and when we invoke that provision, we can always ensure say we accordingly inform the public that this person here will then say this and that based on the allegations there, we're able to recover this money, and then we don't ban the person from holding public office, and we don't. So we can always inform. So away from that matter where I mentioned just now, when we get the matter, we get to do with the work of the clerk of parliament. We recover the money, we then allege say and pay them for about 19 months based on the investigation in Ogo work. We get the money, about 151 million. We impose an interest rate per the money we pay, and then we ban her from holding public office for 5 years. We pull a press release, we inform. So basically everything about what we do, waiting the law provide, waiting give with this low cost standard as the lawyers can say, and we keep the public up to tune.
Get it again to I've been also want to go on that. Is it that now only the people wanna defend guilty per se, wanna they hold accountable, or now they also hold accountable to the accomplices we connive in order for the act being done? Because if you take me back to the clerk of parliament where we will get that issue there, Salomon will say, okay, we all know say they may suspend the clerk, but now it don't resume back. We plenty get the idea saying that they all connive or make the act be done. So like, is it that now only the
one we don't persecute? So accused person they always get right for get the best of representation. But now specifically to this issue here, we investigate the clerk of parliament together with INWEF. Why the clerk of parliament? We also get part of the investigation because he is the administrative head of parliament. And so in fact when we investigate now, there we know self say not to 10 months as it was earlier alleged that that thing they work, he received salary without actually going for work. We understand in our 19 months. So we interview them all. But from what we get from the clerk, that he not get any knowledge that INWEF had been improperly employed. The person never show up for work. Not get any knowledge say such don't happen. Because INWEF never show up for work and all, and he had nothing. It was kept in secret out of your knowledge. But for we make it clear that of course you are the administrative head, you are in charge. It's very feasible that something they happen this radio station here, sometimes the HR person or getting person where they can put in and where the boss probably not go get knowledge. So then you sometimes it's possible say it can happen. But since you're not the head, you get a responsibility for let you understand everything where they happen. So if you not get knowledge on them, so now make we recommend at the end of the investigation that on that basis because waiting sometimes people can misunderstand If at all the wife of the clerk of parliament, qualified for work, there is no law where talk say she should not be employed. But waiting the law provide, now if you're in a position where you're able to exert influence, you for recuse yourself. Now that the law provide. So waiting that not be a concern, but also waiting our most important concern, and the fact that based on records, but it actually not be the shop. Records are say they receive salary, but it not be the shop for work. So that is the dishonest act there. So I make we put that sanctions there, where we ban them from all in public office for over 5 years. For 5 years, we take the money in our hand and we take a fine. And the clerk of parliament now, on the basis that I say not get knowledge and we not get evidence, it's about. So we get in the basis that I say not get knowledge, we so make them notably and crystal clear. And with conclusion, we will make of the investigation that this and this now we find out, and the clerk of parliament for no, but he say he no know, so we don't refer them to an employer when at the president for take administrative actions.
Okay. So now we despite him being the administrative head of parliament, and then some of them think they even as you earlier mentioned say person can get the advice to make apply your influence on area, right? Looking at all these things, is it possible because this is his wife and then in general, even when you go down to the public, the layman go say, possible you can do
Yeah, yes, everything is possible. You see, public institutions then are cosmopolitan environment, and we don't do so much for sanitize, the public sector as a commission, but it's a work that we're still doing. We of course are confronted by some challenges. So that is to say, those things can happen. In fact, waiting we understand the one will be in charge, we not be the human resource person. At that time, in fact, before we investigate, by the telling things and they come to their attention, a person will already be done left the work long time ago. So those things can happen. Generally, taking all of this aside, personally based on certain experiences over time of a lot of years where I don't work, some people would just want to call you favor and they do things just for appease certain people, for reach to some other person. But that's not just some general talk. But basically, I just the pinpoint that everything so far can be possible. So we are based on evidences then. If we feel say like enough for they and say not get knowledge where you are the head and at the end of the law they look at. If you are the head, you need to get knowledge. And if you not get knowledge, that was our problem. And so now when we conclude on that basis there, that it's possible to say you not get knowledge, but you forget knowledge. So now we put them clear and recommend to His Excellency for administrative actions. But now, people then sometimes they ask why make we not take an action as a commission to the clerk of parliament as opposed to the action we take for make and clear our report and recommend to the president. Who that we get the locus as lawyers then can say the right for take action panel the WEF when are in the employ and are in no go work and are in receive salary. So now we take action pan by getting the money in full, by getting the interest so we impose, we pay full, by banning her from holding public for 5 years because the law say minimum 3 years. We give them 5 years. Those are punitive sanctions. But the clerk of parliament now, we refer them as the law provide because in appointment or the clerk of parliament in position now a constitutional provision. The Constitution, Act number 6 of 1991, it provides for the appointment of clerk of parliament and in functions then. And so we not get the power for remove or take other actions than say for what we take to the clerk of parliament. We Anti-Corruption Act It feeds from the Constitution. The Constitution is the grown it's the overwhelming act, and no other act will come inconsistent with them. So now we say we refer them as we rightly did to His Excellency the President for administrative actions, and then the law giving. And such referrals we need to go and go impute or or go suggest or whatsoever. Say let the president in the knowledge can look at and he decide on what thing he want for do, what are the actions and what he want for take. So that's really what is surround that particular matter there.
Okay. Some of them remember say you still the listen to Talk Radio 98.5 FM, and also they watch the live on Facebook and then YouTube page at Talk FM. Make we go for just a short break, and then we will come back and continue.
I don't switch the conversation to the clock now.
Well, Pambo, now so we take welcome Uno again. So we made a show program, na Talk Radio 98.5 FM. With me here again, I get Alex Eba, when Public Relations Assistant na the Anti-Corruption Commission. And Alex, as we discussed just now on the successes of the Anti-Corruption Commission, relating to this wonderful achievement where Mo Ibrahim Foundation, anti-corruption don't get from the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, and then also Salon as a country. Since with all this, I think we will get international recognition as a safe place. Recently again, the 29th, we see on a pull up press release of indicting Salim Ansari from EcoBank, and then other one them on 152 or 182 corruption count charges. What in this mean?
Yes, thank you so much. So part of we strides and way we make for fight corruption, in every sector, we be meant to understand that Salim Abdul Salim Ansari, weighing at the head of retail operations na EcoBank, and of course other individuals them, including the EcoBank itself, and Magnus Samuel Valentine Cole and Talu Jallo, then be engaged in some acts of misappropriation of public revenue. But waiting at the background of that entire matter, that companies then, institutions then, they pay their taxes then to NRA. But then taxes they already pay, then get a bank, then get an account, NRA get an account which is situated at EcoBank. And so now that account, the companies they can write check, where they can go cash, or so then get away with then they write check, and that check they use for pay. So Abdul Salim Mansari, where in the retail operations head EcoBank, in way they in charge because now really they are the heart of all of this scheme, you know, as the brain or the masterminder. They render those checks as checks that cannot be scanned, and so they request for direct transfers. So for example, the companies then where we identify really where them pay tax, where the tax not reflect, institutions like NP, Conex, Yazbek, and several other companies, them Oxfam and all. So they request for them company, then they let them do direct transfers from their original banks. So let's say, for example, you get bank account at GT Bank, you want to pay tax, you don't write check, but those checks then say they cannot be scanned. So you they get a direct transfer directly on the EcoBank account, NRA account on EcoBank. So when they do that transfer, the BBAN, they alter them. The account name will remain NRA, but the BBAN they alter them, and they put the account number of the other two accused persons, Magnus Samuel Valentine Cole and Talu Jallo. Well, these are just ordinary people. Yeah. Talu Jallo na students, na IPAM, and these are just ordinary people with get accounts at the bank. So they put them people in the account number instead of NRA account number. So the funds just they can land na their account. So between March or so to October 2022 March to October 2023, about 1 year 6 months or so, we meant for understand say then do such transfer we accumulate up to 17 million some 100 new loans. Well, if now loans it's about 17 billion. So when the money then they can land, they go and go cash them and they have a field day. So now then they don't happen. So now make when we charge we get over 100 and about 147 count charges. So then they means if for every one withdrawal we then do. So sometimes if they get 500 million, sometimes if they get 1 billion for example, and they will just redirect it, then cash them out, and you know they are big boys. So we indict Abdul Salim and say as the first accused on multiple count charges, 50 something or so, separate one, and on misappropriation of public funds, contrary to provisions within section 36 of the 2008 Act as amended. We also indict our other offenses. Then we indict the bank as a person, okay. EcoBank, because financial institutions then they get huge room for play within the financial sector for ensure say issues of money laundering and illicit financial flows are curbed, are handled. So then get a mandate by provision within inside the Anti-Money Laundering Act for reports suspected illicit financial flows. So we indict the multiple count charge, one of which now the fact that the on count charge where they on failure for report or so, we on the end they renege. When you see somebody and get all of Emmanuel open account, they know your source of income, and then just see Emmanuel in account they get 500 million, poop, they get 1 billion, poop. So they have to raise those red flags. Provision they inside the Anti-Money Laundering Act where them privy to, where they get knowledge of, where them for comply to. But also we indict them on counts of failure to conduct due diligence, because if you get a staff and that staff the Abdul Salim Ansari now a signatory, now they authorize such transfer, and you not conduct due diligence of the person, now somebody where as it is alleged where they thief, then huge thief, then your bank also will be held liable. So now make we indict the bank and the two other persons. Then we also will get sufficient reason for belief say they had knowledge in this and they were all party to it.
Alright, because looking at that, the bank can also deny say we don't have knowledge in this. Yes, we are supposed to do this and this relating to waiting we talk earlier on, but then don't get any knowledge in that one day. But long we not waste much time in that. We also they continue also on the aspect of this corruption, trying to end corruption and then certain radical and drastic action in order to stop the act. Some years back, within 2018 or 2019, we see an act where the anti-corruption they introduce of shaming people, right? Na court or that stuff, na street. Is there any provision or any plans in mind in order for bring then similar thing and then again into action? Because um possible thing also we some angle if you go down to the layman then go talk and say like in go nice for begin shame some of the people the way they embark on then massive act of corruption because one they're not the only thief the country or the government but they the thief we as citizens and then it's a call for concern. But now, is there any plans in order for implement for begin implement some of them things then they?
Well, we have been naming and shaming people in a sense when we can get some of their issues there with a full press release. So when we they indict, make some of the indictment there, we see the press release or the pull, and then press release, and then we can put the names of the accused persons, and we share them far and wide. That's the thing about naming and shaming. When we get convictions, then with the full press release. When we can invoke provisions, then inside the Anti-Corruption Act, we give the mandate for do the non-conviction recovery model. Where people and thief will get the money from their hand, we ban them from holding public office with a full press release. That's a way of also naming and shaming. But in the actual sense that you're asking of taking people out in the street to do that, no, that's not a strategy we get for do again.
Okay.
In we last anti-corruption strategy, when we do the nationwide consultation, that's become part of the suggestions that we Sierra Leoneans and be give. Sierra Leoneans, then most of the one that we interview, then very disenchanted about corruption, and we all are how corruption that affects we, and they were suggesting that we start naming and shaming people publicly, like go show them publicly. So that was the fine suggestions. So when we launched that strategy in 2019, His Excellency the Vice President, we launched him. We decided now Sierra Leoneans then say, let we kill dog before dog die, let dog know say die day. Let we put people them out and shame them. So immediately when we launched our strategy day, we Scorpion Squad, we go do a raid. Like a week after we don't launch that strategy day. Okay, we go do a raid, na I think the PI water also, outside and go see students where they take public exams, the WAS, and get a separate room where they can call the best of professors them and they can provide answers to them, whilst the other one then they at the general place to take their exams. Based on the evidence that they will get as well from some of the text messages there, some picking we not able to give money where them pay. Some of them, they take advantage of them. They had sex with some of these little girls. So we were very disenchanted about that. That is the greatest form of corruption. Because if Pekin at that stage they pass exams through cheating, then cheat their way through. Those ones at the end of the day will be medical doctors, where then they administer the wrong treatment or prescribe the wrong drugs. Those ones at the end would occupy different sectors of governance and other aspects. And those ones that are used to, passing through cheating, they would always engage in cheating. So, and we don't make provision inside the law we criminalize examination malpractice. We decide say, now we don't get a strategy we don't launch 1 week ago that we need for name and shame people. The greatest form of corruption and human rights violation was that. We picking them that could study and competently pass their way through. You learn them that you can sit, sleep on it, and we can show and you pass. And at the end of the day, you become big people that actually know nothing. So we took them out. We do that naming and shaming that was rightly suggested we would launch a week ago. But we see the backlash will be get. People wanted it, but people were not ready for it. So they criticized the HCC this and that, and also the president at the end they apologized. And we, as dispirited as we were, as a commission, that we have been betrayed by the very people we ask that we take that measure
Well,
day.
possibly, most of them won't mind now that now people in bigger offices, not teachers or those down there.
So basically, now I make give a background
Yeah.
about everything, and when we launch them, like 1 week before that thing there, and there is nothing, there is no form of corruption with big past than they. When you they teach picking them at that level that they should, corrupt their way through. If picking them from their level, they don't begin spy, don't begin cheat. People then support them. You get the big educated people where they study them way through. Supposedly, they can learn picking them that you have to cheat. They would adopt the same thing when they go to university. And when they graduate university as well, if they cannot try to win big government contracts, with their brain, they will find ways to cheat again to have it. Okay. So that was what informed that, and there is no corruption bigger than that. And we normally, as a commission, we're not in so much distinguished that this is petty. Every inside the act, academic fraud, the penalty, a fine of not less than 50 million or a jail time of not less than 5 years. It is just the same to all other offenses then. And so we started the strategy with that one case they will come to the attention immediately on launcher. That we have to name and shame people as people suggested, and then kick them out. So how we go continue now with other big people?
Now we'll continue with that method again.
No, but then like I say, the general public, there was a large public outcry, and the president can't forget apologize. In fact, the president rightly so apologize. So you expect we again for go to Dande?
But there are several allegations of exam malpractice. As we wrap up now. There are several allegations of exam malpractice, even in the past NPSE. Me personally, getting the fame from someone saying that even NPSE they leaked now, it was like, what a shame for we. Is there waiting on our get what they do as we dig up now in order for prevent anything there, because with the CC anti-corruption can get representative in every aspect, but we see the reoccurrence of some of the things there.
So this is why we decide say we need to take buoyant and radical steps for sanitize the academic sector, because people in middle are accustomed that you have to spy, that even at that level they begin away small, we don't understand what cheating means, but then parents and they can't help them for spy, because they want to let them pick and make good grades where they don't merit. So now we amend in 2008 Act, we put a separate and exclusive provision that will criminalize examination fraud. Part of the measures that they take. But away from which, we can release to Scorpion Squad. Okay. We now, if there is a Scorpion Squad, they come. At least some fare has been injected. We can go do some raids and some examination halls then. But mind you, as a commission, we get hundreds of centers that we take exam in this country, in every village, and we, as a staff then at the ACC, we now reach 250. Okay. So we cannot be in every of the hundreds or thousands of examination centers that we in this country. Okay. So, and we get other volume of work for doing. But nonetheless, we still keep on working. We get existing MOU with the Ministry of Education. We also get a working group with other educational stakeholders. We meet, we get several engagements sometime last year, and we still continue to take strides for address this issue. But it's an endemic one. We require all trade unions then for address.
As the last one now, you can tell we don't get any other award from any other international organizations relating to for compliment owner in the fight against corruption, just like owner don't get from the Mo Ibrahim Foundation Index?
I mean, several ones. In fact, all of the international and local data-driven assessments that we don't do, especially in the last 6 years, don't commend or don't show how much work that we're putting in and how much result we get in fighting corruption. We get the MCC, like I say, MCC 2017 will be 49 failing %. and 2018 to now, we've scored not less than 70% upwards. We not just moved from 49 to 50, we moved from 49 to 71. And we've maintained 70 up for 6 consecutive years. Transparency International, from 130 in 2017